Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Erin and today we have a slightly different video on my channel. I told myself that 2021 I was going to try to do videos I haven't done before on my channel. I'm kind of in a slump with video ideas. I feel like everything I do is just kind of So, I know a lot of people do reading wrap-up videos on their channel, and I figured I would take a stab at it. So I'm gonna go through all the books that I read this month. Well, actually it's February now, so last month, January. I just got really confused for a second. All the books I read last month on what? So I'm gonna go through all the books I read in January. I read 12 of them. I don't really know how in depth I'm gonna go for each book. I don't think very. I think I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about it, if I can tell you a little bit about it, what my thoughts are and how I rated it. But I think how I'm going to go about this is I'm going to do it based off of how I starred the book. So we're going to go through my 5 stars first, my 4 stars, then my 3 stars. I didn't have any 2-star or 1-star ratings in January. So yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know if you guys want to see these kinds of videos, but if you do, please let me know in the comments down below so I can keep doing them. I can do them monthly. Yeah, so obviously I do them monthly. What else would I do? Okay, so let's start with my 5-star rated books. The first book I have to talk about is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This book was so talked about last year, and unfortunately I actually started it in December of last year and I just didn't finish it till January of this year. So it's technically a 2021 read, but I did start it in 2020. Everyone loves this book, and for such good reasons. This is why it's a 5-star book in my opinion. It is so freaking good. So I guess just a little bit about this story. It's about our main character, Noemi, who receives a frantic letter from her cousin, kind of talking crazy. It just seems a little off. So Noemi's dad says, hey, go check on your cousin, make sure she's okay. So Noemi travels down to her cousin and her cousin's new husband's house, where the family living in the house is just a little bit strange. There's just some strange things going on in this house, and Noemi needs to figure out what the deal is so she can help her cousin. And that's very generic. Obviously, I'm not going to go into too much depth with these books just because this is not a review. This is just a wrap-up video. Very good. It is an extremely well done haunted house, Gothic haunted house novel. It is so exquisite. It is creepy. It is unsettling. Noemi is one of my favorite main characters of all time. Oh my god, I love her so much. She's perfect. I love her so much. She's just such a great main character. This book is fantastic. Again, why I made it a 5 stars. It's everything I want a haunted house story to be, and more, honestly. So I had to rate it 5 stars. It was just perfect. Okay, my next 5-star read was Out Behind the Barn by John Bowden and Chad Lutzk. I'm not going to tell you anything about this book. I'm so very sorry. I just cannot tell you anything about this book. I can't tell you what the plot is about because you just need to go into this with not knowing anything. The plot synopsis on Goodreads tells you pretty much nothing about this book anyways, so you won't have a lot to go on. Just keep your mind open when you read this story. Again, this is a book written by 2 people, which I just think is freaking incredible. I don't know how 2 people can so cohesively write a book together. It's the same way I feel about Wormwood, which we will get to in a minute, but it's just such a heartbreaking, beautiful, unsettling, sad, it's just such a good story. Oh my god, it made me cry, which is a reoccurring theme with Chad Lutzk. He loves to make me cry. I don't know why, but everything I read by him just makes me bawl like a little freaking baby. He stabs me in the heart, which I will talk about again in a minute, but he writes very emotional, and this one, it's so good. It's so good. It's a 5-star book. That's why I loved it so much. It's very short and easy to just fly through if you're looking for something really short and simple. But yeah, that's all I'm going to tell you about Out Behind the Barn. Next up, we have Red Station by Kenzie Jennings. And now, this is a splatterpunk western horror book, which I just think is the weirdest combination in the universe. When I first decided to pick it up, I was like, a western? Really? You think I'm gonna read a western? I don't like westerns. It's not my thing. I don't get it. And splatterpunk is something I haven't delved too deep into in the horror genre, just because it's a lot. Splatterpunk is very gory and descriptive and bloody, and it's a very extreme horror, and sometimes I'm just not feeling that. And so combining western and splatterpunk is just, it's strange to me, but it worked so well. It worked so well, which is so strange. It's about a group of travelers who are needing a place to rest for the night, so that way they can continue their journey. And when they get to said place, the owners of the place just seem a little bit off. And that's all I'm going to tell you. But this is a very strange story. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did, but the western elements are very tame in my opinion, which I personally appreciate, because that's not something I look for. I don't want a western. It's just not my genre. So I was kind of happy that the western elements were very simple and not too like in my face, I guess. And the splatterpunk elements weren't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. Don't get me wrong, this book is bloody and it's gory, and there's like some kill scenes that are just really like, whoa, you know? But it's not too over the top. It's not too extreme. There are some splatterpunks that are like extreme, you know? Like extreme. But this one wasn't too bad, and I actually enjoyed most of the gore and blood. The main character, Clyde Northway, is so cool. She's a badass. She's such a good fighter. She's such a good main character. Oh my god, I loved her so freaking much. I would read a whole book on her backstory because she is so mysterious and interesting, and she made the story for me. She made it a 5-star. She made the story a 5-star. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. I thought I was not going to like it in the slightest bit. Next up, we have The Pale White by Chad Lutzk. Here we go, another Chad Lutzk book. Newsflash, this is gonna be a sad one. This book is about 3 girls in sex trafficking planning their escape, and it is, oh my god, it is so emotional from beginning to end. I just had this lump in my throat the entire time. I was on the verge of tears from the moment I started this book. Oh my god, it was just so emotional. And Chad Lutzk loves doing emotional horror. That's his thing, and honestly, he's freaking amazing at it, so I can understand why he loves it. But geez, this was just, it's hard to read. It was a hard book. It was so enamoring to read, and I just couldn't put it down, but it was also so awful. I mean, you know I love realistic horror, and sex trafficking is a very real, so it's right up my alley. But dang, this is an emotional book. The ending, I was just sobbing. I was just sobbing. Oh my god, I was just crying my eyes out. This book was just an emotional roller coaster, and I loved every freaking second of it, hence why it's a 5-star book in my opinion. Next up, we have We Need to Do Something by Max Booth III. This this is a crazy story. So it's about a family who is keeping a lot of secrets. They all have their little secrets, and they get stuck inside a bathroom together during a storm where there is supposed to be a tornado. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to say about this. It's insanity. It's insanity. It's insanity. Oh my God. I hate tornadoes, okay? Straight up, one of my biggest fears. I hate tornadoes. They freak me out. Every time there's a tornado warning or a tornado watch, I just start getting hysterical because it's just one of my biggest fears. So to have a horror book be set around a tornado is just extremely terrifying to me. And the tornado is not even the main threat, honestly. I mean, it is, but there's so much more going on in the story as well. The tornado is just the reason they're in the bathroom, and the rest is just, I can't even explain the story because I would give so much away, but I just wanted to uncover all the secrets within this family. They all were holding so many secrets. They were all like on the verge of tearing each other's heads off. And I just wanted to know what was going on with them. Why are they being like this? What's happening? You don't even notice that the whole story is taking place inside a bathroom. Like, it doesn't even move scenery. You're just in a bathroom the entire time. It's so unsettling. It's so crazy. The ending, wild. 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 Oh my God. 5 stars, obviously. I loved it. Next up, we have Wormwood by Chad Lutzk and Tim Meyer. I'm not going to talk too much about this book because I have a full review of it here on my channel, and all you need to know, this is a coming-of-age story. It's dark, it's twisted, it's emotional, it's disturbing, it's beautiful, it's fantastic. I could go on and on about how much I love this book. I mean, the review video I did is just me gushing about this book for however long the video is. So I assume you can tell that I just really, really love this book, hence why I gave it 5 stars. If I could give it more than 5 stars, I probably would. 10 stars, 20 stars, it deserves all the stars in my opinion, and it was one of my favorite reads this year. It's gonna be in my top 10 of 2021. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you this is gonna be in my top 10. So yeah, that's all you need to know. Next up, we have The Nightmare Room by Chris Sorensen. Oh my God, another haunted house story, I know. But holy crap, I love a good haunted house story, and this one was excellent. This story is about Peter and his wife Hannah, who move back to Peter's hometown because his father is sick. And the house that they move into, there's some evil afoot. You know, like a good haunted house story has. Some evil afoot there, you know. I'm not gonna tell you anything else. All you need to know is the plot is so well done. It's a typical haunted house story with a twist, which is something I really enjoy because I feel like the haunted house trope is very overdone. We know this. We see haunted house stories all the freaking time. But when it's well done, when it's so well done like this, it's just chef's kiss, you know? It's just so nice and fun to read. I loved every second of this book. It was emotional. You know I love a good emotional story. You know that. It was emotional, it was creepy, it was unsettling, it was, you know, all the words that I say over and over again about books that I like because I have a very limited vocabulary when I film these videos apparently. I mean, it was just really good. From what I can tell, this is kind of like a trilogy. I don't think any of the plots are related to each other, but I think they all take place in the same town or something like that. It's called The Messy Man, number 1, number 2, number 3. So I'm very interested in the other 2 books because I really liked this one. So if they're similar, then I'm definitely going to have to check out the others as well. Moving on to my 4-star reads. The first one up is The Nightmare Girl by Jonathan Janz. This is actually a 4.5 star rating, but I put it in the 4s because it's in the middle basically. I have a full video of this one as well on my channel. It deals with cults, it deals with child abuse. It's very good, very frightening. You know I love a good cult story. I enjoyed it very much. The last 40 pages are insane. They are so tense. I was on the edge of my seat the last 40 pages, just in utter disbelief that this was all happening so quickly and so chaotically. I was just dying to know what happened, basically. So I really like this one. Next up we have Devil's Creek by Todd Keelsing, I think is how you say his last name. This is another cult book. This is about a cult run by Jacob Masters, and in the 80s there was a mass suicide of the cult and the church burned down, and only 6 kids were the survivors along with their grandparents. And then when the kids are older, it seems as though the cult is ready to resurface. It's ready to come back and just keep going where it left off. This book, I have heard nothing but immense praise for it. And when I first started it, I wasn't very excited. I would say the first half of the book, I was a little bored. This is a 400-page book, so I think it was just a little too long for me at the time. I just maybe wasn't in the mood for a longer novel. Maybe I needed to have read something shorter, so I might not have been in the mood when I was starting it. And so halfway through I was just kind of like, oh, I don't know about this. But then the second half of the book was just boom, man. Boom, boom, boom. It was exciting. It was terrifying. I loved the second half. So good. This is why I gave it 4 stars, because yes, I didn't love the first half, but I just think I was not really like feeling it at the time. So the second half just really, really got me. So I did really enjoy it. I love a good cult book. You guys know that. I've told you guys many times that I love books about cults. So overall, I was very pleased with it and I did enjoy it. I just liked the second half more than I liked the first half. The next book we have is Bunny by Mona Awad. I just reviewed this book on my channel like last week. I told you guys in my video I was bouncing between 3 and 5 stars. I decided to go in the middle and just give it 4. This book, I don't even know how to explain it to you. It's a crazy book. It's insane. It made me feel like I was on drugs. It's very confusing. The plot is wild. The ending is even wilder in my opinion. It left me with so many more questions than it did answers. There are things I loved about this book. It was so intriguing and it kept me wanting to read. However, the aspect of it being so confusing was it just took it down a little bit for me. I think that's why it's a 4-star read and not a 5-star for me, is just I don't mind a little bit of ambiguity in a book. I like an ambiguous plot sometimes, but this is an extreme version of that. It's just so confusing and so you know, watch my video if you want to hear me talk about it more, but honestly, I didn't really tell you guys a lot in that video. It was mostly me just rambling, trying to explain how I felt about the book when I really didn't know how I felt about the book. So, it's interesting. It's an interesting book, but it wasn't my favorite. Next, we are going on to my 3-star ratings, and there's only 2 books, and then we're done with this video, so let's get into it. My first 3-star rating was for Nana by Brandon Massey. Massey or Massey? I'm not sure. Massey? Brandon Massey? Ugh, I'm sorry. I have mixed feelings about this book. Basically, it's about Monica, who never knew her birth mom until one fateful day when her birth mother comes up to her and says, "Hey, I'm your mom. I want to be in your life. I can't wait to get to know you. Let's reconnect." And Monica is obviously thrilled. You know, her mom starts out being very loving and makes herself really useful for the family. She's cooking dinners. She's just helping out her daughter. And everything seems really hunky-dory at first until you start learning more about the mom and you realize that her intentions are not very innocent. This book the idea of it I really, really liked. However, the characters were very frustrating in my opinion. I didn't love the way they went about a lot of things, and the ending was so annoying. The ending seemed very rushed to me, which was pretty disappointing because I feel like the ending could have been very, you know, climactic, but it wasn't. It was just very like, and end. And I was kind of like, oh, that's how you chose to end this? Really? It was an okay book. I didn't hate it. It was enjoyable. I liked some of it. I didn't like some other aspects of it, but overall, it was okay. Next up, and the last book, is We Don't Talk About Her by Anderson Prunty. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. This is about a stalker. We know I love a good stalker moment. This is about Clint, who is fascinated by Stella. He likes to sit and watch her work. It's obviously very creepy, but he's also not a very good stalker. Stella's very aware of what he is doing and what he wants. But then the things take a turn, and Stella is not who she seems to be. And she ends up staying with Clint at his house, and things just get even crazier after that. This book had such potential in my opinion. I love stalker stories. This could have been so good in my opinion. And at first it started out really good. I really did like the whole Clint watching Stella at work and being creepy and her feeling uncomfortable and that kind of thing. But then the whole Stella not being who she said she was, and then the second half, it was so dumb to me. Like, I just didn't get it. It wasn't really my kind of thing. It wasn't something I personally would have done to the plot. And then the ending just didn't make sense to me at all. I just didn't get it. I don't understand why that ending happened at all. It just seemed to come out of nowhere. It didn't even make sense in my opinion, and I didn't like it. So overall it was all right, but there were just so many flaws in my opinion that I personally wouldn't have done, and I just didn't like reading it. So for that reason, I gave it a 3-star. And there we have it, my friends, my reading wrap up for January. Those are all the books I read in January. Yeah, I hope this video was entertaining. I hope it was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you want to see monthly reading wrap-ups or maybe weekly reading wrap-ups, you know, whatever. Just let me know in the comments down below if you do want to see these kinds of videos, if you like me talking about books that I am reading and not reviewing on my channel, if you want to see that kind of thing. If not, this will just be a trial video and we won't continue doing it. So just let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you enjoy from me. That way I can keep providing you with that kind of content. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends, talk about makeup, books, movies, horror, all kinds of things. I do a lot on this channel, so hopefully there's something for everyone. And with that being said, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye!